This is my life with albinism.
Now, this is my life with albinism.
And this is my life with albinism. Welcome back to another episode of Life with Albinism podcast. We have a special guest today. She's been on the show in the past, but we haven't had a chance to really talk to her. And today is that day. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
What's up? It's your girl, India Roe, singer, songwriter, producer, model, all of the rest.
I'm Dale.
I'm Avery.
All right, so in this episode, we really want to sit down and talk to you and ask, what was your childhood like? What was your life like with albinism?
Helen back with it.
What you mean by that?
It wasn't easy, but it wasn't nothing that I would be like, I can't do it, I can't accomplish, I can't, nah. It was, in my head, I was getting bullied a lot, but as I got older, I started to think maybe the reason why they're bullying me is because they feel like if I do what they're trying to do, I'm going to do it better. So I started gaining some self-confidence, just thinking different, because a lot of people would program me to think, oh, you're not good enough because you are the way you are. And it was a lot of black people, like a lot of dark skin, brown skin, light skin. It wasn't always white people. When I went to an all-white school, they was kind of like, hey, welcome. They didn't
You
know
blended
what
in more.
Yeah, they didn't know what I was, but momentarily, they didn't really care. They just, what's your name? I'm India. Where you from? I'm from Far Rock. We out here. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying? It was like that. But with the black community, it wasn't always like that.
And I'm sure that's probably similar to us, right? Because
I've never gotten bullied.
You've never been bullied.
Never gotten bullied, bro.
Not even in like your early childhood.
Nah, it was like where I was out in public, like kids would stop and stare, stuff like that. But like it wasn't to the point where I was like, I don't want to go to school because this person's picking. But I went to school and I had the neighborhood. We all went to the same school. So by the time anyone ever said something, everybody was on them like, yo, what you say? That's my boy Avery. So I've never really gotten
so for you it's like you were not bullied because by the time you went to school the neighborhood was so familiar with you that it was like, oh, we know that's Avery.
That's Avery. He's the funny cool dude, so we got him. Like, you know what I mean? I was always the funny cool dude, so I mean, if you need to laugh, I was that fly guy. You know what I'm saying? So
see, and that's different, right? Because even though we're cousins, I can say I definitely was bullied with albinism. And
you was bullied, you didn't tell me?
It's not like we lived in the same state, but
who did it?
So
who did it?
I'm playing.
But for me, it was like normal, right? Like undoubtedly we look different. So I would expect somebody to point that out. It's no different than a kid being fat.
I mean, what it is? Kids are when it's when you're younger and then kids point out like, oh, like you walking and whatever.
Right,
they like they rooted all like, damn, he white, like, you know what I'm saying?
Kids are just more
brutal.
Like
they're more honest.
But what's worse than a kid being more brutal? A kid without that that
knowledge,
sensor and that knowledge to be, curious and for them to be like, wow, they're mad white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for an adult who
knows
whether he or she is unsure, like, okay, they're white, but what are they? Or they albino. They'll do it the worst than kids. It's just people in general. Kids are cruel, but adults are just that harsh because they know and they don't censor themselves.
Yeah. So now, India, for you growing up with albinism, was your family supportive? Was they taught the confidence into you?
I'd say mostly my mother and my older sister, because I know that my the first oldest, I know that she was always, the encouraging one as far as like, yo, you know that you're different and you and I don't look alike within color. But that doesn't make you any less of a person, or it doesn't make you any less of, who you are because of your difference. It makes it better. My mother was always the one to be like, don't let anybody make you feel no type of way and whatever. Yeah. As far as, if I had to handle my business, I just had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? That's a me thing. Like, if I get into an argument, My whole thing is, if you're not gonna put your hands on me, I don't care what you say. You could talk about me, because I'm gonna talk about you too. Because that's, you're not doing nothing.
So for you growing up, you didn't really have to transition into becoming confident because your family and your older siblings would kind of put that confidence in you from early on.
Yeah, but the thing about that was they weren't like me. So it doesn't matter whether they put the confidence there or not. It's just I didn't receive it because I didn't see anybody else like me. My little brother was like me, but he's young. He don't really care about being albino and what people say. Sometimes here and there he might feel a way if somebody stare at him or not, or if they say something to him and he hear. But other than that, he don't really care. His mindset is so. And my mindset as a female, because as a female,
it's very emotional.
A man will, we're emotional, but a man will point out everything. She don't got big breasts, it's not big, like, she's kind of skinny. They'll point out the female insecurities. And even some of them will be like, it's harmless, we're not trying to be rude, it's funny, we're supposed to laugh. But what will be funny to them might not be funny to me. So it didn't matter if anybody instilled the confidence or you got this in me, the motivation. That didn't matter to me because I wanted to be from somebody who looked like me.
Now, Dale, did you grow up with like your family supporting you and like explaining to you like this is why you're different and this, that, and the third?
So that credit I give a lot to my mom.
Yeah,
because my mom from as early as I can remember, she would always tell me like, yeah, you may look different, you may have albinism, but you're no different than anybody else.
Yeah,
you're still my son, you're still black, you know what I mean? And my mother pushed a lot of confidence in me, and I think one of the biggest things that helped me out so much in the long run is my mother taught me not to care what people think.
Yeah,
and I think that's helped the albinism probably even more than the confidence alone, because she taught me not to care what people think. So then when it came to that point of going to school and hearing kids call you names and tease you and pick on you, it didn't bother me because she already taught me from an early age, like, don't care what these people say or how they look at you or if they stare at you.
See, now, me on the other hand, my grandma was very old school. She's, you know what I'm saying? And when I, like, she told me, like, yo, when I came home one day and it wasn't that I was bullied, it was just I was tired of hearing the same thing on repeat. It felt like it was on repeat to me, like, oh, he's white, this, that, and the third, and so I was crying one day just because I was, I was tired of it, and she said, well, crying ain't gonna do nothing but give you a wet face. And I said, what do you mean? She said, you cry and that doesn't solve the problem. You're still who you are when you woke up this morning. And that sat with me a little bit, and I was like, you know what? You're right. She said, now go outside and play. I said, all right, well, hey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was just so, like, nonchalant, but, like, she had, like, little messages in her, like,
that stuck with
you know what I mean? So it was just like, so then, and I'd say that she didn't care, but just like, they're gonna have to see you every day. Right. So eventually they're gonna get nothing's gonna you know what I'm saying? So they're gonna get used to seeing you. So it's either they deal with it or they just stay upstairs and mind their business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just like, all right, well, you gotta deal with it. So
and it's interesting because India also stated that, her family was like that too. But one thing that I've like been dying to ask you, because I know you stated that you model, you songwrite, you make music. Has albinism, because I don't want to assume, has albinism affected your model career or your music career, negative or positive in any way?
I'm gonna be honest. For some of the majority, it was a lot of negativity. And it wasn't just black people; it was a lot of people.
Is this like starting?
Explain that. What do you mean negativity?
Right,
like saying you can't do it or you don't have the image? Like
it was just all right. So from black, from Jamaican, from Hispanic cultures, it was just a lot of negative backlash as far as like you don't look like you're even worth the image. It was a lot of you don't look like
you don't look the part.
You don't look the part.
You don't look like a rapper. You don't look like
anything. You're so different. What can you do? What is so special about you? And it came to a point where I had to be like, I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna show you.
Now, when you say you don't look the part. What is the part supposed to look like?
I mean,
like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, when
me because this is them telling.
No, but
I don't know.
I guess
But when you say you don't look the part, what does the part of a rapper look like?
I guess they
Like
probably
Lloyd,
looking at it more stereotypically.
They want.
But
this
if
is,
you
this
say
is what
that,
they feel like a part could look like.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you see how everybody trying to be a Barbie.
Yeah,
Build-A-Bear
like the
bitches.
Nicki Minaj.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to be like that. I don't want to be like that because
We
that's not
can't
how
be
I'm
like
built.
that.
It's
That's-
not even
yeah.
that I can't. Because if I wanted to go and get everything done, I got the money to do it. It's
But
just
you
a simple
still-
fact that I choose not to.
It's not even the
perfectly
image.
do.
It's like all right. If you get your chest done, you get your butt done, you get. You know what I'm saying? You still outline. You just have a bigger chest and a bigger ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But-
And
it's-
sorry
it's
for those
not-
kids that are watching this, but you know what I'm saying?
But we being real about it. Nothing is
Yeah.
gonna change my skin complexion.
Exactly.
If anything, you're gonna just imagize me to look like them in the different
And
skin
you're still
tone.
gonna stand out though.
Now, what about modeling? Would you get that same thing there, where it's like you don't have that image? Or
I was told so I started modeling at 13. This woman had hit up my mother. She was a photographer and was like, your kids are gorgeous. I would love to shoot for them. I want to do a thing for this magazine. I want to see them, da-da-da-da. She came to the crib and she, took a couple flicks, got everything situated, me and my brother in the magazine.
That's dope.
And photos on Google the, following couple of weeks or whatever.
Okay.
When I moved from Far Rockaway to Brooklyn, I was staying with my father. And there was this woman, and I guess she thought maybe I was a little older, or she seen a picture of me and didn't really get a feel of like, all right, your age and everything, your height. Basically tore my world apart because she was like, you're too little and you're not old enough. And it was just like, it was like, in a way, it's just a bag.
Yeah.
I'm just modeling for a bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's really an age limit on posing with a bag. If
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
I'm the face that'll get this thing
Yeah.
up there. So I didn't really think it was a big deal. I was like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of hurt my feelings because after that, it was just so much, no. You're not old enough. You're not tall enough. You're not thick enough. You're not curvy enough. You're
So
not
it at
anything.
least wasn't the albinism, at least for the modeling side of things.
But you see how it was in a sense, because even though they thought they loved what they saw, it wasn't enough because, like I said before, a lot of men will with being an albino black woman. You're not this, you're not that, you're not. So it just adds on.
Yeah.
So at that point, even if it wasn't the albinism for me, it still was just a lot because it was just overpowering. Okay, now I don't have the skin color, now I don't have the body, now I don't have the face, now my hair is crazy.
And I'll be honest, right? I had that happened to me a lot too, where like no matter what I said I could do well, people would say you don't look like you could do that. I rap as well. People will tell me you don't look like you can rap. If I say, I feel like I could say anything. I could say I skateboard. Somebody would be like, you don't look like you can skateboard. And I feel like the albinism does that. I feel like the albinism makes people feel like,
but second
makes
guess
them second guess you.
A lot
not
of
take
people
them
try to, when it comes to albinism, they confuse the word condition with albinism. Albinism is not a condition. The only condition that lies within albinism is your visual impairment. Some people are born with good vision that have albinism, others not so strong. And that's completely fine because there are things to help you with that. But I want a lot of people to understand, do not ever come to me personally and say your albinism, the condition you have. No. It's not a condition. It's a lack of pigmentation. The only condition about albinism is within my vision. Other than that, there's no condition. I'm labeled as a person and you're going to treat me as such. And I had to learn to start speaking to adults like that as a kid. Because it was this one time where my mother, we was in this daycare center and this woman was trying to talk to me funny and I said, Miss, I'm not a baby. I understand English. You want me to do X, Y, and Z? Okay, cool. And I went about my business. She just looked like, excuse me? And my mother was like, yeah, excuse you. And she didn't say, she didn't say nothing. My mother let me bang. Because when I started speaking up for myself, people was like, oh, she got a mouth on her. Yeah, and my hands is ready to leave for everybody too.
I think it comes a point in time where you tired of the, and again, I'm sorry if there's kids watching, you just tired of the bullshit. You know what I mean? And you gotta take a step forward and stand up for yourself and just be like, yo, this is what it is, and this is how it's gonna be. You feel me? Like, y'all can't talk to me like this because I'm still a human being and I still have emotions and feelings, and just like you. You know what I'm saying? I have good days and I have bad days, and right now you're not on this level. You know what I mean? So I just have to address what it is and what I can do, and I'm gonna show you, you know, to prove you wrong or whatever. You know what I mean?
And you know, I think that's really important, right?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much just talking about speaking up for yourself.
Yeah.
So when you have that person that's like, well, you don't look like you could do this, or you don't look like you could do that, you speak up for yourself and you let them know, like, listen, this albinism don't hold me back from much.
Yeah.
Yes, it has a vision impairment it comes with.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hold me back from much of what I want.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Like,
it didn't hold Daredevil back from nothing.
Right.
It didn't hold now back from nothing. It didn't hold no superhero that was visually impaired or without any type of sight.
True. Is there any
anything.
albino superhero?
There is this albino superhero that
Ooh.
nobody talks about, and
Ooh.
basically in this, I read it was a comic book, and I honestly didn't even know this person was albino until
Just because you just said that, I really had to think
But is
about
it
it.
new?
I don't know how new it is, but I googled albino superheroes and
I gotta
albino
do that.
characters. A lot of anime stuff came up, but then there was this one that kind of stuck out, and it's basically like this scientist. She believed that she can help people and you know provide instead of medicine with chemicals in it, herbs. But people shut her down, and so she became kind of angry and infurious, and she was like, "I'm gonna show them all." So I don't know. The thing is the albino, and I thought that was the stupidest name ever, because I'm like, y'all don't have to make it so cliche.
You know, like, damn, like,
you know what I'm saying? But basically, she was portrayed as a villain, and it upset me in a way, and I'm gonna tell you why. It upset me because it's like we all always portrayed as some sort of vampire, werewolf, some supernatural creature. I appreciate the shine in the anime and everything, but we are not.
Why
like,
we can't be a normal person?
Right.
You know
Why we
what I
can't
mean?
be a superhero or somebody that does something amazing for the world? Why we can't be seen as goddesses and like, you know, people that can heal and do things that you know, others can't do.
Or just a normal person.
Yeah. Or
like, you know what I mean? Just a normal person.
I found out. I'm sorry to cut you off. I found out. I don't know if y'all know. Remember that stupid movie, Powder? Y'all remember that? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Powder, that movie. Y'all know it. I found he's not even albino. That played that guy.
No, listen. None of the people in any of those movies were albino. Like in the Matrix, there was
First of
albino
all,
twins. They didn't really have albinism. They were just white people that just put on like wigs and makeup. And
See,
like
that's that
know?
bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
none
of those people were. But now, the last question I wanted to ask you, India, what advice do you give to another up-and-coming woman or male with albinism who wants to jump into the model industry or the music industry, now that you know that albinism kind of holds back the modeling or the music a bit? What advice do you give to someone else who's going to be in your place?
I'm going to keep it 100% real. And again, excuse me, because even if there's kids watching, I want y'all to
Well, you don't have to curse.
Nah, I don't care. I just want y'all to feel.
You gotta be real.
Yeah, I gotta, because
Talk
you
to
know
people.
what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. When you get, whether you're going to be a model, a doc, it doesn't matter what you're going to be. You're going to have to come to some sort of obstacle where they try to slug you because of who you are and what you look like. It's been like that for years. And I feel like black people, of all people, should know so much better to treat us equal because they've been through it for 4,000 years. We should be a lot
Still
better.
going through it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we should be a lot better with accepting people that look like us and that are black. I'm not saying they, just black albino. No, just any type of anything. Because when we start understanding and being there and being, you know what I'm saying? When we work as this and we click, we can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for you people that want to do something and you have albinism, understand that is the main reason that you're going to have a slow time. People are going to try to stop you just because you are albino. And they will tell you, your vision, your skin, you don't look like this, you don't look like that, or we don't want to be your friend because we don't want to catch none of the above. My best advice that I could give you is understanding who you are. Because when you know who you are, nobody can check you. That I told my brother this year ago, and I said, you have to learn and educate yourself about your albinism and the history that they hide from you. Because if you don't educate yourself, somebody can put you in your place. And you don't want anybody to check you and put you in your place. You want to put them in their place. Like, no, I have albinism. Albinism was just around the same time as slavery. And this was the first albino. These were the first albino slaves. They were twins. And this is what happened to them. There was more people with albinism and they came along. And there were people with vitiligo and they came along. And this is what happened to them. These were the punishments. This was the hardcore things of the sort. Nobody normally talks about this stuff. But when you educate people, instead of fall victim to their ignorance, they can't say anything to you. They could try to argue because they feel some type of way. When people feel some type of way about them being wrong, they try to defend their wrong. They can't defend their wrong against somebody who understands. When you educate yourself, you immediately cancel out the enemy. And the defeat is a complete brutality. So don't allow people to put you in check about who you are. Because once you know your history and know yourself, nobody can tell you you can't do it because you're albino. No, actually I can, because back in 1985, there was this albino slave and he was able to overconquer anything within the things that he's been through. And this was an inspiration for me to do it.
That's good. That's good. So now, before we close out, India, I want you to be able to promote whatever it is you have going on. Tell people where they can follow you on Instagram, Facebook, maybe if you have a modeling page, or your music, if it's on streaming platforms. Let them know where they can find all of your stuff.
My Instagram is only India Roe. That's only INDIAROE. No W, because a lot of people spell Roe wrong and I don't know why. It's not Rose, it's Roe, ROE.
I said Rose. My bad.
You can find my music on all platforms. I don't know about Spotify because it's been acting a little iffy with me lately. However, I will try to get that up and situated. I recently put out a Caliber remix, so it's me and Coco Jones, and you can go and check that out. Shout out to ZXL for helping with the production and producing all my music. My EP, Guilty Pleasure, and then my album, Cherries, coming soon.
Ooh,
I don't have a specific date, but it is coming. I know I've been out of music for a minute. I haven't put anything out that major, but I've been trying to work, like, just be isolated so I get the full feel of that, how I want everything to sound and everything of the sort. But Twitter is India Roe, Snapchat India Roe, Instagram. And make sure you follow my beauty page, which is Zoda. It's like, it sounds like soda, but with a Z. So Zoda by India. And I sell lashes and press-ons and lip gloss and all the cute little things. So yeah.
Right, Avery, your social medias?
My IG, lighter than me. No, I'm sorry. Lighter _ than me. I gotta check. I don't know. If you follow him, you follow me. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see me.
And as usual, all of our content you can find on lifewithalbinism.com.
Yes,
Go straight
sir.
to the website. You can find the Instagram there. You can find the YouTube, the podcast.
Just hit us up.
And if you want to find the podcast directly on YouTube, just YouTube Life with Albinism Podcast. Also, the Instagram is life_with_albinism.
Yeah.
Send us a DM,
buddy.
contact us if you want to be on the show and spread your story.
Please, definitely. Oh, before we go, and me and this guy here, we're going to
the NOAA conference.
Yes.
In July, we will be there.
Yes.
Life with Albinism will be at the NOAA 2022 conference
Facts.
in July.
So I can't wait to meet all y'all. Please come up, handshake, pictures, all that. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a very good time. We're gonna have a ball. Can't wait to talk to all y'all, meet y'all. Just let us know. You know what I mean? So yeah.
All right.
See you there. Wear some
Another
sunscreen.
amazing episode. Thank you.
Yes. Later.